Hi Sparkles, it's Jordan Sparks. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about my problem with Hyram. So if you're interested in that, let's get into this video. So essentially I've been watching Hyram since his channel was literally the same size as mine, if not smaller, and over the years I have learned a bunch from his channel, admittedly, but I have also picked up on a couple annoyances, a couple discrepancies, a couple infactualizations, if you will, and so today we're going to be talking about those in today's video. So if you're interested in that, make sure to give this video a great big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you are brand new here, and let's get into it. So I hope you guys enjoyed my Hyram Serious The Truth About thumbnail, as we're going to be talking about Hyram in a very typical kind of like nitpicky, reaction-y Hyram way. And as Hyram always says, you can totally like and respect somebody but also have a 100% oppositional opinion, so that is kind of where I'm coming from in this video. Personally, I find most of his videos to be educational, entertaining. I've been watching them for a long time, but I do have a bunch of complaints. Now, I'm coming to you as somebody that would just consider skincare a hobby of mine. Technically, I have an entry-level professional education in skincare because I trained as a hairdresser in a cosmetology program, and so we had entry-level skincare and nails and stuff like that in my program. That being said, let's get into my first problem. So my first problem is the skincare specialist title. I feel as if he was using the skincare specialist title without really saying anything about it, correct me if I'm wrong, until people started to call him out on it. But here's my problem. He is not a dermatologist, he is not an esthetician, and he makes that clear in the intro of all of his videos that he is not an esthetician or a dermatologist. However, he has been calling himself a skincare specialist for the longest time, and the skincare specialist title comes from something that he got from a cosmetic company that he works for. It literally means squat. The title skincare specialist literally means absolutely nothing. He is a skincare hobbyist and is doing this for a living now on YouTube. Now, the reason why I say that is because you can work at Lush, you can work at Merle Norman, you can work at like a number of cosmetic companies selling their lotions, selling their makeup, and they will call you a skincare specialist. The same way that Hyram is being called a skincare specialist at his job. It's no different than working at London Drugs, Shoppers Drug Mart, any other retail location where they want to give you a fancy title. Like, you can work for Boom Body or any other kind of MLM and they call you a CEO. It literally means nothing. You can go get a job at a cosmetic company, they're going to give you like 4 hours of training on the lotions that they sell in their skincare line and tell you what to say about them. Then you've got the title skincare specialist first day on the job. So the title itself literally means nothing, so that's the first thing that has always kind of irked me. I would consider a specialist like a actual dermatologist that specializes in a specific field or another. I wouldn't consider a skincare specialist somebody that works at Youth to the People or somebody that had a background working at Saks Fifth Avenue, which is Hyram's background. He used to work at Saks Fifth Avenue and now he works with Youth to the People. That's the first thing. The title itself means literally nothing. For example, I do Dance Coach Reacts videos and Brad Mondo does Hairdresser Reacts videos. Brad Mondo is a hairdresser. Hairdressing is a trade. Brad Mondo is an actual hairdresser, so therefore he calls himself a hairdresser in his reaction videos. I'm a dance coach. I have 2 formal educations in performing. After dancing, I did a full 1 year on-the-job internship to learn to be a dance teacher, to be a dance coach. So I have formal education and I actually have a title and I actively coach people as a dancer. Hyram is a skincare hobbyist with a YouTube channel. So that is my first issue. When he comes to the table reacting as a skincare specialist, and he's reacting to somebody who owns their own skincare line and has 30 years of experience, it just seems a little irky to me. Most of the other points in this video are just things I've heard him say in his videos that made me go, wait, what? For example, he has a problem with using ice cubes on your face for taking down swelling and says that this isn't going to work because it depends on where the swelling is coming from. That's not true. Yes, it would be great to attack the source of the swelling, but ice reduces swelling, period. He then goes on to talk about not knowing the science behind it and stuff like that, and he talks about this in so many videos. I don't know the science behind this, but this is my super strong, committed opinion that isn't going to change. And I'm like, how did you form the opinion then? Doesn't make any sense to me. So yes, it's totally fine to use ice on your face. You're going to be using ice that is already melting. I personally don't experience a lot of puffiness and swelling, so I don't really use ice on my face, but you can totally use ice on your face. Nobody's going to grab a dry ice cube fresh out of the freezer and like stick it to their skin and be like, ah! Like, you're gonna use melting ice cubes where they're already wet. Apply that to your face gently like people have been doing for 100 years and you will be perfectly fine. The next one he said was coconut oil on the lips. He had a major freak out about using coconut oil on your lips. Coconut oil is technically comedogenic. You don't want to rub it all over your face because it can be pore clogging. A lot of people in the past, like in the drag community, would use coconut oil to cleanse their face, but they're using it as a double cleanser. I honestly don't even have a problem with using coconut oil as a double cleanser. People would use the coconut oil on their face and then they would wash it off with dish soap. So they're using like hardcore oil and then a hardcore surfactant to get it off. Like breaks down like when it comes to makeup, so you want to have a double cleanse that is going to be like, you're going to want to have something that is like an oil-based product to break down all of the makeup, but if you're going to be using coconut oil on your face and then washing it off, either way, I don't even have a major problem with that. I wouldn't be washing my face with dish soap, that is for sure, but I would definitely be making sure that I chose a cleanser that was going to break down that coconut oil because I wouldn't want that left on my face. But using coconut oil on your lips, honey, that's not a problem. It's literally not a problem. Nobody's going to be like, it's all over my lips. Now that my lips are all covered, I'm good to go. Like, no, you can put coconut oil on your lips, just don't smear it all over here. Like, you might get a little bit of a breakout, you might clog some pores if you used it everywhere. It's totally fine on your lips, people, don't freak out, it is just coconut oil. Next is fragrance. So he freaks out about fragrance and essential oils. Now, it's true that essential oils in high concentrations directly on your skin can cause irritation. Fragrance can cause irritation. For the majority of people, the amount of fragrance that these skincare products are formulated with, especially things like a wash-off cleanser, it's not going to irritate your skin. And even for the people that it would, it's like such a tiny little minority, and a wash-off cleanser is probably not even going to irritate their skin. So fragrance isn't the biggest deal unless it is something that you're going to be leaving on your skin. But he totally writes off entire products and entire product lines because he found an essential oil way down the list or found any kind of fragrance, and I'm like, okay, well, that was an amazing product, but now he's just told 4 million people not to buy it because it had a drop of essential oil in it. Which is my next concern, is that he always references things as being low down on the ingredient list, and that's a problem. That is not a problem. So when you're looking at an ingredient list and how it's formulated for skincare, it's kind of exactly the same usually as buying food from the grocery store. You're going to get the ingredients that have the highest volume in that product at the top of your list. So you're going to get the ingredients with the lowest volume of product in that ingredient list at the bottom. Now, that being said, having active ingredients at the bottom of the list is not a problem. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be efficient and it's not going to be effective. It means there is less of that active ingredient in there than there is of a humectant like glycerin, because it is a lotion. You don't want a lotion that is literally just pure retinol. That would burn your skin. Trust me when I say that you would not want the first ingredient in your lotion to be retinol. You don't. So I'm like, that is how products are formulated. The tiniest little drops of fragrance down at the bottom of your list ain't gonna be that big of a problem for most of the world. And having your active ingredients down lower on the list, again, it doesn't mean that the product is not efficient or effective. It means that there is less concentration of those active ingredients in their lotion than there is of humectants like glycerin or whatever the base is, or like water. That's usually the first ingredient. So that's one of the things he likes to break down that I feel like is sending people way off course. Like, of course, when something is toting to be full of watermelon extract, like the Clean and Clear, I think it is, then you're going to want to actually have watermelon extract. And when it is at the bottom of the list and it's something literally as simple as watermelon, not a super active ingredient, then you're kind of questioning, okay, why am I buying this product and is this marketing hype? But when it's an active ingredient like niacinamide or retinol, it's totally fine for that to be down on the ingredients list. You don't want your product to be full retinol. The next one he said was the Cetaphil Gentle Cleanser is stripping. Girl, what? That is one of the least stripping cleansers that is available at the drugstore. one of the least stripping cleansers that is available at the drugstore. So how is that stripping? What are you normally washing your face with to consider Cetaphil Gentle Cleanser that is dermatologist recommended and one of the most gentle cleansers at most drugstores to be stripping? Which leads me to my next problem, which is that he calls products like Cetaphil simple, bottom of the line when it comes to skincare. No. Bottom of the line when it comes to skincare would be like bubbling up and drying your skin and cheap crap ingredients. Cetaphil Gentle Cleanser, on the other hand, is by no means stripping. A lot of people actually complain that they use the Cetaphil cleanser and they don't feel like they washed their face. Like, that's how gentle it is. So personally, when it comes to cleansers like that, Cetaphil is literally one of the #1 dermatologist recommended cleansers in the world. So I would trust a doctor of dermatology before I would trust a skincare specialist from YouTube. Which leads me to the next point. He says that the Cetaphil cleanser he doesn't like because it's simple, and he often lists ingredients like glycerin and then goes, oh, glycerin is not a bad ingredient. And for an ingredient to be cheap and readily available doesn't mean that it is bad. For a skin cleanser to be super duper simple and have super minimal effective ingredients to cleanse your face doesn't make it bad. You don't need fancy active ingredients in a cleanser, the same way that you don't need the fragrance in your cleanser, but it's not going to make a difference if you have a drop of essential oil in your cleanser because you're washing it off your face. But you don't need those active ingredients in your cleanser, and in fact, I would feel like you're wasting more of your money buying a cleanser with active ingredients than if you were to just use a treatment after you've cleansed your face with something that is super safe and not going to irritate your face at all. So that's why I would personally go with a dermatologist recommended cleanser like Cetaphil or CeraVe. And he does recommend CeraVe, but Cetaphil is like, oh no, it doesn't compare to CeraVe, so we must toss it in the garbage. If you have Cetaphil in your bathroom, you better hide that shit before your friends find out, or you're gonna be canceled. So yeah, that was my next problem. Having super basic, readily available, and cheap humectants like glycerin, for example, is not a problem. Petrolatum, like Vaseline petroleum jelly, another super cheap but highly effective product. It's been used for like 100 years for a reason. Because it works, and it is backed by science. So that is my next problem, and something I kind of touched on a little bit, is that he often says, I don't know the science behind this. Oh, it's the pH of this product that burned my face. Like, he'll complain about a glycolic acid having too low of a pH. It burned my skin. No, it didn't burn your skin because it has a low pH. It needs a low pH in order to be an acid. But it's the fact that it was a super high concentration of glycolic acid which is going to be burning your face when you're used to using a way lower concentration and you have sensitive skin. But when he puts out information like that to the rest of the audience, like, anybody that does have more education in science goes, wait, what? Like, a lot of the time he recommends super great skincare products, and he has a lot of great advice and a lot of great education when it comes to skincare. But when he says things that the science entirely negates just because he has a really strong opinion, that is what makes me cringe. Next is something I also kind of touched on a little bit, is that he totally gets over dramatic and freaks out if something has a low concentration of actives or a high concentration of actives. So he'll complain if he sees the active ingredients at the bottom of the list, which I already explained. That doesn't mean that there is not active ingredients in that product, and a lot of the time it is great to start off with a lower percentage of an active ingredient when you are just starting that ingredient for the first time. In general, it is better to use a product with lower active ingredients when you're just starting off with that product, in case it is going to cause sensitivity or it's going to make your condition worse instead of better. But having an active ingredient at the bottom of the list or near the bottom of the list is absolutely not a problem at all, and it's kind of contradictory because he also supports and recommends buying a product that has low active ingredients. For example, he'll recommend like a really low level retinol from the INKEY list, and then he'll complain about the next product having retinol too low on the ingredients list. Okay. You don't know the actual volumes of everything on that ingredients list. All you know is aqua came first, and retinol is close to the bottom. You don't know how much aqua or water is in there. You don't know how much glycerin is in there. You don't know. It's not telling you volumes of everything. He also complains if something has too high of a concentration of an active ingredient because it's going to damage your skin, and freaks out if people use retinol every day. If you are an experienced retinol user and you know what you're doing, the products recommend using them twice a day. The people that formulate these products know what they're talking about. Dermatologists will recommend you do the same thing. Yes, you don't want to put like a 1% retinol on your face everywhere twice a day. Like, that's super strong, but having something with like a 0.2 concentration or 0.3 concentration of retinol and applying that twice to your face a day when you're an experienced retinol user is not a problem. And in general, you're not going to be reaching for skincare products that are over $100 by SkinCeuticals with a 1% retinol concentration when you're brand new to skincare. Like, you're gonna go to the drugstore and pick up some Clean and Clear not knowing what you're doing. So in that regard, I appreciate his videos. They are full of a lot of great information, but things like that are just like, why are you freaking out about this? It doesn't make any sense. If you're a beginner, you're obviously not gonna be drawn to retinol, and you're not gonna be drawn to any of these products that cost $1 bazillion if you don't know anything about skincare. It's people that are already skincare hobbyists and passionate about skincare that are going to be investing in these products. You're not gonna know what SkinCeuticals is. So I have no problems with the concentrations that these products are formulated with. You're gonna do your research usually 9 times out of 10 before you spend $100 on a product. Unless it is something that is going to be marketed to you by like Tatcha or a well-known brand. But something like SkinCeuticals, no. You're going to have to be a skincare junkie nerd. It's like The Ordinary. But the difference is, for example, The Ordinary can actually be affordable to people that are not celebrities and filthy rich influencers like SkinCeuticals. So overall, for somebody that always talks about how he has such a dislike for fear-mongering, I feel like he does a lot of fear-mongering, and since most of his audience is people that are super brand new to skincare and don't really know anything, they're a lot of the times just going to be taking the products that he recommends. So I feel like that is great because he does recommend great products, but he just writes off so many products that would be so great for so many people, and like these products with really strong actives that could be so helpful and beneficial to people that actually need them, and he'll just completely write them off and tell you to get a 0.2 concentration or something like that, which could be not beneficial at all. Not enough active ingredients for you to even see a difference. It's all objective, but I just feel like he's super overdramatic with a lot of his opinions, and it just kind of steers people off course. Now, my last problem, which is just a hypothesis of mine, I have no confirmation on this, but I feel as if he uses a skin filter, like Facetune video filter, on most of his skincare videos. Most of his videos in general, I guess, because they're all skincare videos. But he's the only YouTuber that I watch that I go, is there a filter on this video? And just to be clear, I have absolutely no problem with editing your videos using a filter. If you choose to do so because you're insecure, or you choose to do so just for the aesthetic, for whatever reason, go ahead, use a filter. It's all up to you. It's your video. You do your thing. But when you're literally selling people skincare products, that's what he's doing on his channel. He is selling skincare products. He has the affiliate links in the box. He makes a commission off of those affiliate links, and he recommends a whole bunch of skincare products in literally every single video. So make no mistake, he is an affiliate salesman, and that is what he is doing on his channel. So for somebody to be selling skincare and using a filter, if he is in fact using a filter, to me is false advertisement. It's exactly the same as that airbrush makeup infomercial that plays for like 2 hours late at night, and they're all like, oh my god, I love this airbrush makeup, and then every single video is literally just under like a super heavy Instagram filter, and I'm just like, after she put on the makeup, her entire face was photoshopped off. So yeah, I personally watched a lot of Hyram's videos recently, and I don't feel like it's lighting. Like, I have a ring light and 2 white softboxes in front of me right now. Oh, P.S. say hi to my brand new plant, Frederica. She is a mass cane. I love her, and I just got her the other day. But yeah, I'm under a professional lighting kit right now. I would say that my skin isn't too broken out except for like a spot or two, and this is what I look like. Now, when I watch Hyram's videos, I feel as if I only see his eyes and everything else will just be blurred out. And then he'll mention sometimes like, oh yeah, this breakout, and then he'll point to a breakout and there's nothing there. And I'm like, is it because there's a filter? So I don't know. I've personally asked a bunch of times. That's the only reason I'm including this in this video, is because I've inquired like several times over the last year or so to see if he is using a filter, but I've got no response. So I don't know, if you guys know whether he is using a filter, let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that it is right to use a filter to filter your skin if you are selling a skincare product? Personally, I just feel like it's really gimmicky and infomercially. It's like those products selling the makeup where it's behind a filter, or it's like the teeth whitening products where it's the exact same photo in the before and after, but they've used like Facetune to whiten the teeth until they're almost blue. So I personally think that it is a little sketchy if he's using a filter, but I personally have no confirmation and I don't know if that's true. It's just my hypothesis. But anyways, that is it for this video. Those are my complaints about Hyram. Let me know what you guys think about Hyram. Overall, like I said, I think that there is a lot that you can learn from his channel. He has a lot of amazing recommendations when it comes to products, and he definitely includes the list of products that are the most inclusive. So the products that he recommends on his channel are generally safe for almost anyone to use, and since he is literally like the police of fragrance and essential oils, if you are somebody that has any kind of sensitivity, you are generally safe to use his products. But that being said, yes, it does bother me that he entirely writes off so many effective, amazing products just because they had a drop of fragrance in them or something, or because they simply smelt like rose. Even if they weren't irritating in any way, shape, or form, but they had the slight smell of rose, that product goes in the garbage. I'm like, okay. Alright. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of Hyram down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a great big thumbs up. I was personally thinking about making another video like this about Robert Welsh, the pro MUA here on YouTube, because he often, basically his entire channel is reacting to other MUAs here on YouTube, but he says, I'm a professional MUA, and that is why I am reacting to these people. I have been working with clients and working in makeup for 12 years. Okay, so are most of the people that you're reacting to. Like, most of these people have an education in makeup, most of these people worked at the MAC counter for several years, most of these people own a makeup line, most of these people have done hundreds if not thousands of clients, high caliber clients, celebrity A-list clients. Have you? There's nothing really regulating being a makeup artist as a profession. For example, in Canada where I live, in order to become a hairdresser, a hairstylist, a barber, you have to take an apprenticeship, become a journeyman of your trade in order to call yourself a hairdresser. There is like a 1,500 hour practicum, I believe. There's hours and hours and hours of training that goes into that, and then you get to call yourself a hairdresser. When it comes to makeup artistry, you can literally be doing your own makeup in your bedroom and call yourself an MUA and then get a client and you're a makeup artist. Like, that is basically it. So yes, you can go to school to become a makeup artist, but there's nothing that's necessarily regulating that the same way that hairdressing would be. So for him to call himself a pro MUA and not acknowledge that somebody like Manny MUA is also a pro MUA and not just a quirky beauty YouTuber that you're somehow going to have way more knowledge than, or somebody like James Charles who has worked with like every single freaking celebrity. James is younger, Manny is not. A lot of these MUAs that you see on YouTube have been doing makeup for like 12 years. So it's really no different than what Robert has been doing. So for him to call himself a pro MUA, I think is totally legit. But for him to not acknowledge that people like Manny and James are also a pro MUA, it's just like, okay. You all have like the exact same experience, except for the people that you react to have worked with way higher caliber clients. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. That being said, Robert does have a lot of great education. He's obviously an amazing makeup artist as well. I just find it a little bit cringy when people put themselves on a pedestal in order to do these reaction videos. For example, I would never react to another dance coach and be like, in my 30 years, I have so much more information than Abby Lee Miller. Like, no. Abby Lee Miller is a dance coach, and she has way more experience than I do. Just because I'm a reaction channel on YouTube who is also a dance coach is not going to be like, professional dance coach reacts to Abby Lee Miller and then be like, you don't know anything you're talking about. Let me teach you dance technique from the proper perspective, because yours is wrong. Like, yes, there is a technique to makeup, there's a technique to skincare, there's a technique to ballet, there's a technique to dance. But somebody else's interpretation of it doesn't make it wrong. Like, I can watch somebody dancing Vaganova, I can watch somebody dancing Cicchetti, I can watch somebody dancing Balanchine ballet and acknowledge that all three of those are different, but that doesn't mean because I trained in Cicchetti that Vaganova and Balanchine are wrong. They're just different perspectives on the same art form. One is not more correct than the other. Anyways, that is actually it for this video, so if you liked it, make sure to give it a great big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're brand new here, and as always, make sure to be weird, be wild, and stay sparkly, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!